Well, Americans, I didn't think it could get any more effed up, but this lady is literally called the Social Protection Minister. They're run by a bunch of Karens. And body language, this is a throwback to what it was before everybody started paying attention to body language. It's really messed up, and these people are going to learn real quick.
Minister John Mooney reported in the Times yesterday that the person of interest in last week's Parnell Square stabbing was the subject of at least one deportation order since coming to Ireland. And the Sunday Independent reported that he had been in the country for 23 years and has never worked while in the state.
So as he goes into that, as soon as she starts hearing deportation order and the other bad things negative to her social construct, the body starts going a little bit back. The head starts going a little bit down. And these are minute movements. Literally, just tiny movements as she's like, oh, shite.
So to echo a question posed by Aisling Murphy's boyfriend in his victim impact statement, how does someone come to live?
So you see that little bit of a slow blink and then a positive head movement. And that's just acknowledging she knows who that individual is. Not that she agrees with anything this person has to say.
Here for over 20 years and never be expected to work. Could you answer that as the Social Protection Minister?
And then you see the mouth movement right as that. She wants him to shut up so she can speak. So the mouth is trying to move. I'm So very impatient. We're starting to get some things out of the personality. She's impatient. She does not like this line of questioning. And how is this the throwback? Oh, shall we go forward?
Yeah, well, of course, just to be clear here, we don't want to conflate issues. This was about a terrible and an awful stabbing.
Big giant, believe me, look, large movements in the head, and we don't want to conflate issues. It's like gun control over here. The guy's a robber. He's convicted. Don't want to conflate issues. It was the gun. You can't fix this, Ireland.
That took place. 3 little children. It really would. It'd break your heart.
And then we go to the emotional manipulation. It's about 3 little children. Swear. And to top it all off, she turns her head to the side. You see the eyes are looking at him from the side. She's coming at him from the side. Are you buying the BS coming out of my mouth? That is that movement right there. We ain't seen this in a while here in the U.S. ever since they got wise to us. Now they don't answer questions. And all this tells me is she doesn't even believe what's coming out of her mouth.
And what happened there. So I can't speak about specific individuals and what their entitlements are.
I'm going to assume this reporter's body language because we reciprocate. If someone is very open and willing to take everything you say in as truth, the other person relaxes and they just spill out their truth or insanity very comfortably. This individual is obviously giving off something that says that's not happening because she's trying to make herself small. That innocent childlike thing with the believe me look. I'm going to make myself small. It messes with the psychology, especially in men, when you can, as a female, look semi-vulnerable. Gets into that natural instinct of protection.
All I do know is that he was an Irish citizen, and when you're an Irish citizen, you're entitled to all the benefits.
And she's still doing it. I do know he was an Irish citizen, and as you see that, the head bobs down in a bowing motion. Submit. I'm submitting. I'm lying, but I'm submitting. I'm making myself small and vulnerable. Don't you believe me?
That all of us receive when we need them, and as I said, there's obviously going to be criminal investigations and criminal proceedings, and I really wouldn't want to say anything that would impact on any of that.
Sure, I wouldn't ask you about this.
So she's found her out because she kept rambling on, and I'm going to assume, because we can't see his body language, that he was pretty much stonewalling as, I'm not budging. I don't think that's right. So her out was, well, this is criminal proceedings. Can't talk about those things until later, which later never comes, by the way. And she sticks her tongue out. Actually, I say it like that, like it's funny, but in all reality, she's sticking her tongue out to wet her lips because she's stressed herself so bad trying to get out of this from the individual who's not buying what she's putting out.
Specifics of the case, but this individual, assuming these reports are accurate, would have been long-term unemployed before he received citizenship. And we know that these kinds of instances happen. So in a general sense, what I'm asking is, do you think it's...
So the general sense, yes, yes, I know. Shut up. But then he goes, in the general sense. And then she's taken aback, like, oh. So the brain is now completely engaged. And she's actually got apparently a very good mind at the moment. because we aren't seeing a whole lot of movement in that brain. But she is actively thinking, how do I get out? How do I get out of this?
Right, that somebody could come to Ireland and live here for decades potentially.
The breathing is getting heavier and deeper, faster as well.
Unemployed and receiving social welfare. Is that really?
And you see the mouth open. She wants him to shut up. Shut up. I'm going to speak. Do not say anything more. Why? Because questions to these people can be as damning as telling the truth. Can't even ask questions anymore because it eludes that there's truth to be heard or that things need to be thought about. It engages the brain. Can't have the population engaged in brain thinking. That would be like some form of actual democracy. Can't do that.
An appropriate situation in your view?
Well, whether the perpetrator of that awful act receives social welfare or not is not the issue here. But what I would say to you is that anybody that's on social welfare, and we have the lowest figures ever in terms of unemployment.
So now she's getting very upset. And you know this because her hands, her body are shaking from the force of her fist movement downward. She's had enough. She does not want to answer any more of his questions. She doesn't even want any more of his mouth to move. The believe me look is so far up her head, she's going to have a headache. If she doesn't have one already, because she is that stressed.
They are subject to all the job activation measures to try and get them into employment. And if they don't engage in those, we do take action. And I will continue to make sure that we take action.
I think that might be kind of a separate issue to what I'm
And now she sits back. I've done it. You cannot say anything more.
asking you though, Minister. Like, again, what I'm asking is, do you think it's appropriate that somebody could come from abroad and avail of social welfare, avail of these kinds of things that are on offer while never working for years and years and years at a time? Is that an acceptable situation that we should be standing over?
You know what? And good on him, because she's fallen. The whole face is twisted. Now she's really got to dig in her brain. How in the world do I freaking do circus acts in my brain come out of my mouth to make this man shut up and I am right? She can no longer look him straight in the eye. Her brain has to be fully engaged. There is no quip right off the lip.
I think you have to remember here that when somebody comes to Ireland, there's a process that they go through. And it takes a number of years. Some people say that we should be processing them more quickly, and we're trying to do that. We're speeding that up. If they get Irish citizenship, they're entitled to the benefits that everybody else has.
But we're talking about before. I mean, I'll put it this way: under EU regulations, which I'm sure you're familiar with,
This man is going to be in prison soon. That is that look. She's not happy. It's from the side. It's from the top of her eyeballs. She's got her lips pursed. Retribution is coming your way, reporter, and I am so sorry. But hopefully the whole world sees this lunatic.
If you like it, please share and subscribe. Thanks for watching.
If you'd like to learn more about analysing body language, there is a video course available on Mandy's website for Gold subscribers.